welcome back. It's Melda here from Three Scrappy Sisters, and I have another Laid Out Thursday video for you. It is a 12 by 12 layout that I have created using the April 2014 Felicity Jane Kit. No, it was Caroline. So I am starting here with, again, a white background paper. And I am scrapbooking photos of my kids, probably about from 4 or 5 years ago now, from our trip to Niagara Falls. Oh, and I have one of them right here. Bella is here.
Hi!
And we are actually just editing, just hanging around. It's really hot today, so we're kind of being a little bit lazy, not doing too much of moving around. Anyhow, so you will have noticed that I have started, like I said, with a white background paper, and I had in my mind that I was going to use or try and use some of the branding strips. So I did pick one out. I think it is the pink scallop, and I hoped to make that kind of my starting point, my base for the layout. But I think in the end I do get rid of it. But it does stay there for quite a while. So I've decided that I want to use the black and white striped paper just for a little bit of blacks. So I'm going to mat my photos on it, but first I'm going to mat my photos on plain white cardstock. So when I do this, I don't necessarily measure how big I want my cardstock to be. The paper trimmer that I have is a Fiskars trimmer. And all I do is basically just line up the photo with the edge of the guard, I guess you can call it, or the flap that comes down. So there's the space where the blade goes up and down. There are two edges, one on the right side, one on the left side in that space. So I just line up my photo with one of those edges, and the blade will be just a little bit more to the right or left, depending on what side I'm doing. And I just use that as basically my guide to hopefully get all the same. Sorry, I don't have the words today. I use that to basically get the same distance all the way around my photo so that I have a nice even border. So at this point I've already matted my photo on the black and white cardstock pattern paper. And I am just going to go through the die cuts that came with the kit, as well as the stamped images that I have stamped and fussy cut, and the printable page. So I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to try and decide which pieces I want to use. I don't end up using very many of these pieces. I feel that they just didn't really go with what I had hoped the color scheme to be, so I kind of didn't go with that. I wanted it to be fairly simple, like most of my pages are. So I am going to choose this navy scallop piece, or is it black? I can't remember. I think it's the navy piece from the printable page. And I also added a bow that I have used some pattern paper and cut with my silhouette. And now I am adding the little suede bows that came with the kit, which I absolutely love. It's such a great idea, and since then I've actually gone out and bought some strands of suede, and I've made my own. So it's a really cute little DIY. Mind you, mine are not as good as the ones that are in the kit, but I think they came out pretty good. So I'm just going through this little pack of Project Life cards that came with the kit, and I am just going to try and see what I can layer underneath my photos. My plan was to use that stripe mint and white card just behind the one photo, but then I cut it the wrong way, so I had to use it under the right photo, and then I just cut a different piece.
Would you put words in there?
In where? The Project Life card? No. I put it behind the photo. And now I'm trying to see if I can, again, try this little corner fold thing. I still haven't found a page to do it where it works. But I'll try. Every page I probably try. Okay, so I have found some of the labels from the die cut pack that came in the kit as well. I shouldn't say some, like 2 labels. One little tab and one little label right behind the photos. And I'm just going to go through the little rubber embellishments that came with the pack, which are absolutely adorable. Some of the script words and the shapes, the hearts, I just absolutely love. So I'm just going to play around with some of these little elements here and there and try to scatter them throughout and hopefully evenly so that I can create sort of a diagonal flow through the page. And I'm hoping, I actually noticed on this retreat that most of my pages go diagonally from bottom right to top left, and I had to actually challenge myself not to do that for every single page. So at this point I have decided that I like the way that the layout is sitting. I'm just going to add a little bit more details, and I am going to opt for some stamped words, even though I did say I wasn't going to put any words on these tabs and labels. I am going to go with the word Bestie. That was part of the stamp pack that came with the kit. I am going to place it at the top left-hand corner for now, but it is going to move to just above the right photo. And then I am going to replace that with the tab. So while I am just finalizing this, I'll tell you a little bit about the photos. Like I said before, the photos are from our trip to Niagara Falls years ago. We go there all the time. Well, I shouldn't say all the time, but we do go there a lot. And this was the first time that we had gone, and we ordered room service at the hotel. And I think I created a monster or monsters, because now every time we go to a hotel, they always want to order room service. So I do want to apologize for all of that crinkling that you may have heard in the background. Like I said before, and like you have heard, Bella's here. I'm just in the kitchen doing the voiceover, and she decided she would like some cookies right now. So she was just trying to open the packaging. So I did have to pause because it was one of those really loud plastic things. She got her cookies out, and we're back to quiet, and she's enjoying her cookies. So I am just going to go ahead and glue this all down. I feel like this was a pretty simple layout. It came together pretty easily, and I really like just working with white. I feel like too many colors, too many patterns just overwhelm me, and white is just a little bit easier. It's like a blank slate, and then you can kind of just add the pieces that you want, whereas you create from there as opposed to working around something. But that's just me. That doesn't work for everybody. I just like all the white space. I'm looking for my scissors, and I found them. You may have noticed that throughout the video, extra hands appear, stealing or borrowing scissors here and there. And like I've said before, this was taken at the crop, and it's just my sisters, you know, popping in, taking scissors, popping back, returning them, and here and there, just borrowing. So I am just going to adhere everything down, and then I am going to, let's see, look ahead. I'm going to add some ink splatters, and this time I'm not going to go for the gold. I am going to go for, oh, I didn't put it above the picture. I put it to the right side of the right picture. Sorry about that. So instead of going for the gold Heidi Shine, I'm going to go for the bronze color. And I am going to attach some of the rubber shapes. And like I said before on a previous layout, I found the easiest way to adhere these without them peeling up so easily is to attach them with some gesso. And that seemed to work for me. If you have these kinds of embellishments as well, please let me know in the comments how you have attempted or successfully maybe stuck these down and maybe I'll give that a try as well, because hot glue, wet glue wasn't working. It just peeled right off. So for me right now, gesso and stapling is the only way I've figured out how to use them. So I am going to add these puffy shapes. They come in squares, in hexagons, and triangles. Hexagons are the ones with 6 sides, right?
I
think so.
8 sides.
No, that's an octagon.
Wait, no. Yes.
So yeah, so they are hexagons. So I'm going to use the navy ones, and I'm going to use some of the teal or minty colored ones as well, I believe. And I really like the way that the bow turned out. For the next couple of layouts, you will see a bow. So again, Heidi Shine, I'm going to shake it all up, and I'm going to do some ink splatters. And I am going to try to avoid adding too many to the bottom. I found that flicking it the way I am, just straight onto the page as opposed to sideways, it allows you to control it a little bit better.
Yes, because you do every single video you use paint splatters.
I like them. They're pretty good, and I think a lot of people do it. It's pretty popular. Sorry, we've decided that we're swinging on the table now. And by we, I mean just Bella. Okay, so I am going to bring out my typewriter here, and I am going to type out just a little bit of journaling. The journaling is going to say, what does it say? First time ordering room service, and then the next line says, enjoying a little quiet snack in Niagara Falls. So we ended up just ordering like a little fruit tray, and I believe it was a Caesar salad. So that was fun. So I'm just going to cut that up with my cutter, my paper cutter, and trim it down with some scissors and attach it to my layout. And then I'm just going to add some enamel dots that weren't included in the kit, but they're just the ones that I found at Michael's, the cheap $1.50 ones that they call sugar dots. And that's about it. So I'm going to add them in white and green, and that's the layout. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you on Saturday for a Smash Your Stash video, and next week for another Lay It Out Thursday video. Thanks so much to all of our new subscribers. We're almost at 150. So exciting. Thanks, and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.